Hello, I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, and what just happened? Well, in terms of shifting the WWE status quo, absolutely nothing. If you want more thoughts, check out my live tweeting at Adam the Blompier. But here's what I thought of the pay-per-view as a whole. Not a single title changed hands, and not a single twist to be had. No surprise debuts, no heel turns, no face turns, everything staying exactly as it is on the Fastlane to WrestleMania. Now, Fastlane as a B pay-per-view, which is exactly what it was, by the way, as something that you paid $10 for, $9.99 rather than $55.99, those cue cards, as something you paid $10 for, there was plenty of fine wrestling to be had. It's just, basically, it's the Royal Rumble from the last 2 years, delayed for a month. That confirmation in the fans' minds that no matter what we want, no matter if we boo or if we cheer, we're being given one thing, and that's what they're telling us we want. Now, I don't want to be hyperbolic about this. I don't want to rail against WWE, but listen to the boos. That's all anyone can ask. Roman Reigns was put in there against the two top babyfaces in the country in one of those babyfaces' home state. Of course he was booed. So it's like, oh, okay, well, you take that foundation, you take that crowd response, and you build on it, you craft something with it. No. What you do is you confirm everything that the fans thought you were going to do. No surprises, just this crushing sense of inevitability, like the fans don't matter. Because ultimately, in today's WWE, they don't. So let's talk about the pros and the cons of the pay-per-views. Let's talk about the pros first. First of all, how progressive and how genuinely surprising and refreshing was it that we opened with a women's match? We opened with Becky and Sasha versus Tamina and Naomi. It was a great match. Sasha is over as hell, Becky is great, and Naomi and Tamina are two of the most underrated workers in the Divas division. They tore the house down. Then you had Owens versus Ziggler, one of the matches of the night. It was fantastic. Both these guys, they encapsulate everything that the IC title should mean. Charismatic, great workers putting on a fantastic technical contest. Then you had the Titans going over the Wyatt family. So the Wyatts didn't get involved in the main event. The Wyatts lost against the Ryback and two guys that will probably be gone from the company within a year or 2 years. Why? What? Why? We had the Divas title match. We had Charlotte versus Brie. It was a bit floppy and gangly limbed, and that's mostly down to Brie because she's just not that good a worker as her sister. It was fine, you know, Brie riding off the Daniel Bryan momentum and Charlotte putting in an excellent turn as a heel champion. That was great. Like, for the first 2 hours of the pay-per-view, the matches were great. You know, I mean, like, sure, the outcomes were predictable, no championships changed hands, but the work rate was great. Laid a solid foundation, fans were into it. Then you had AJ versus Jericho, which is great, probably the match of the night. I mean, AJ reminding everyone that he is truly phenomenal. I mean, Jericho kicked out the Styles Clash. That's a bit iffy. And also, Y2J almost ended AJ's career a couple of times by very nearly dropping him right on top of his head. But ultimately, AJ got the victory. He looked great. I mean, there's not much I can say to complain about that match. And so we get to the final hour. The hour where the drama happens. The hour where angles are furthered and people switch allegiances. You know, the magic hour where the exciting stuff happened. We started with the New Day promo. Oh, the New Day promo. Everyone thought that Enzo and Cass might be coming out, or maybe we would set up the match for WrestleMania. No. Instead, it's just the New Day, who are heels, with Edge and Christian, who are wacky, versus the League of Nations, who are Then they just chatted at each other, swapped bad dad jokes, and that was it. Just ended. And it lasted 20 minutes. What a waste. But no, we're not done. Hello, the patron saints of mediocrity. Out comes the social outcasts, who are... I know everyone wants these guys to be good, but they're just They're just not very good on the mic. They're a bunch of goons. They're hopping around making noise. They're just annoying. Like, not even like good annoying, like New Day, because, you know, they're kind of witty and they're kind of zeitgeisty. They're just annoying. They're shrill. They're annoying. And out comes R-Truth. Hey, I hate R-Truth. So he comes out. They have a surprise match to fill the time. Why not? Why not chuck in a match between R-Truth and Curtis Axel in the third bloody hour of the pay-per-view? And then Goldust distracts R-Truth. Curtis Axel wins with a roll-up. Then we get on to the main event, and it's Dean Ambrose versus Roman Reigns versus a tomato for the rights to see who's going to face Triple H at WrestleMania. And look, it's got Brock Lesnar in it. The match is fine. I like it when he suplexes people. I know he's only got one move, but the one move is bloody brilliant. They take turn, they put Brock through a couple of tables. Brock gets 2 naps on the outside. There's chair shots, and you're waiting for the Wyatts to get involved. Now, I know. Like, I'm, having a go at the pay-per-view for being predictable, but like, there's predictable in the worst possible sense, like, oh God, that's what they're gonna do. And there's predictable in like well, here's the way they're probably gonna get out of it. And they just went for the worst thing possible. Roman Reigns beat Dean Ambrose clean. Dean Ambrose disappeared out of the frame. Nothing more to be seen of him. He's had his time in the spotlight. No Dean Ambrose heel turn. No Roman Reigns heel turn. Nothing further with Brock. It was just the status quo being maintained in the most stagnant way possible. And the boos as Roman Reigns took to the ring, raised his arms in victory, pointed at the WrestleMania sign. Royal Rumble 2015 all over again. I mean, I just don't know. We've got WrestleMania coming up. WrestleMania is typically quite a smart crowd. People travel all over the world to see this. And genuinely, I don't know if they're going to cheer Roman Reigns. Like, what if Roman Reigns beats Triple H, who, it's a day after Triple H pulls off NXT TakeOver Dallas. Triple H enters WrestleMania as a conquering hero, and he's upset by Roman Reigns, and the fans boo. What happens then? Everyone just leaves WrestleMania unhappy. Vince McMahon watches in front of all of, the business people. Everyone is watching WrestleMania. It's his big crowning achievement, and his huge experiment fails in front of everyone. What happens then? I don't know. It makes me feel quite listless generally to talk about it, because Fastlane, it was never gonna be that big. The card just wasn't that exciting. Ultimately, Fastlane, 2 hours of unsurprising but really solid wrestling, and then the last hour just sucked all of the goodwill out of the show, so that everyone is talking about what a bad show this was. Everyone is talking about how WWE is going to be limping towards WrestleMania, and it just feels like the same news cycle over and over again. January to March is just a bad time to be a wrestling fan now. Let's leave with this. If this is a story that WWE is going for, they have to come up with some really clever ways to make us cheer Roman. Because right now, it seems like the entire fan base is solidifying against Roman Reigns after a couple of really poor booking decisions. To have no swerve, to have nothing even remotely resembling a surprise in the last hour, it just feels like WWE is playing us to their tune again. And WWE fans are way too cynical to let you do that. Are we going to see a ruined WrestleMania? We shall see. But for now, what just happened was a very crushing sense of, here we go again. Do you disagree? If so, tell me about it in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter here. I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, and I'll see you soon.